Yeah, I would say that my style is very similar to what the kids in the program now are accustomed to. You know, I think if you look at my history, where I've been, where some of the guys that have coached the offensive line have been, it's pretty similar.
You like zone and power stuff and mixture? Or?
Yeah, zone schemes and power schemes both. You know, pullers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, run first.
Have you crossed paths with Bob Bostad?
I have indirectly, you know, from a professional standpoint, as far as professional development, things like that. But a lot of the guys that I've been influenced by were coached by him. So.
Who are some of the guys you've been influenced by?
Well, Jason Lensmeyer is the #1 guy. You know, I was his grad assistant at New Mexico. So, you know, he played for Coach Bostad, and Bart Miller was actually there at the time. So, you know, I think a lot of those key fundamentals and techniques will be similar in that regard.
How big of a blow was it to lose Travis Frederick, and did you have any time to reach out to him before he made his decision?
I had a chance to talk to him while I was at the Rose Bowl, and you know, obviously that's a big blow. You know, he's a tremendous player, and you know, I think he's just the next one that's you know, going to go take his talents to the NFL, and he's going to do a great job there. I know that. So.
Have you talked to Bart at all? And knowing him, will that help in the transition at all? Is there anything he can help you with, do you think?
Yeah. You know, I've been in contact with him. I think that you know, just getting to know the guys has been the biggest thing. You know, their personalities, what they know, kind of where they've been. You know, I think it's always important to know where your players have been to help them get where you want them to be. So that's basically been our conversation.
Whether it's Coach Andersen or any of the coaches that we've talked to so far, they've all said when they were asked, they couldn't get their hand up fast enough to say, "Yep, I'm in. I want that job." What was your first reaction when you were approached and asked about this opportunity?
Pretty much the same. Yeah. It didn't take me real long when you got an opportunity to coach the offensive line at the University of Wisconsin. It's you know, that's an opportunity of a lifetime, ultimately, and that's why I'm here. Yeah.
What do you need to do between today and the first day of spring ball to have a good feel for what you've got to work with and what you need to accomplish in the spring to replace what you lost on the line?
Well, that's a pretty extensive question. I think there's a lot that goes into that. I think the first step is evaluation. You know, from a attitude standpoint, from a physical attribute standpoint, mentality, all that type of stuff. To me, that's the first step, and then you know, we'll take it from there. We got a long time before then, but that's the #1 goal right now, is to, you know, get to know who we have and, you know, how we're going to use them and put them in the best spots to be successful.
What do you think you guys that came with Gary from Utah State can provide in terms of continuity and the familiarity you have with each other?
Well, I think every staff, I mean, you know, a staff is like a team. You know, I think that chemistry is important, and, you know, I think there's 4 or 5 of us that are here, and, you know, we all know each other's strengths and weaknesses and how we work. And, you know, to me, I think that's the #1 thing we'll be able to bring initially, is just the familiarity with each other, you know, as far as working with each other and things like that.
What about Gary do you believe in that made you want to come here with him?
He puts players first. I know that's kind of a simple answer, but you know, his vision as far as what we do this for, why we're here, falls in line with the same beliefs and core values that I have.
TJ, where have you recruited in the past, and what kind of ties do you have? Do you expect to continue using those ties?
Well, I've recruited Southern California, Northern California, Dallas, Houston, and Miami. So I've recruited all over, and you know, I've got ties in California, obviously being from California. But you know, I think that there's enough of a tie out here, having played in the Midwest. You know, playing at Iowa State, my short stint there that I had, I think will help me as far as, you know, Midwest the attitude, the type of kid, that type of stuff.
You're coming from a conference not known for physical running games necessarily. Do you think that's inaccurate, or is there going to be an adjustment coming to the Big Ten? Do you welcome that? And it sounds like it's going to be a big part of Andy's offense too. Obviously, a power running game. Does that excite you as well?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't think there's any question across the country if you talk about physical football, the first conference that comes to mind is the Big Ten, and that's exciting to be an offensive line coach in it, and it's even more exciting to be at the University of Wisconsin doing that. So, you know, my philosophy will be whatever Coach Ludwig wants and whatever he wants to do with this offense. But you know, I think it's pretty evident if you look at where we've been, where we come from, where he comes from. You know, we're going to run to win, and that's in all of our DNA, I think.
You know, Big Bostad thing, he expected the offensive linemen to be the hardest workers on the team, make practices as hard as they could be to make games easier, even some of those same things.
All of those same things. Yeah, it's you know, offensive line is the backbone of the team, and you know, in my opinion, it's where everything starts. And you got to be the hardest working group on the field. You got to be the toughest group on the field, in my opinion, and that's, you know, that's our aim.
And you have to recruit to that, don't you? 'Cause, I mean, you got to recruit those kind of players who love it and want to put up with that.
No question. Yeah, we you know, my philosophy in recruiting has been and always will be to be honest. And you know, I'm going to coach them hard, and I'm going to love them harder. And when we're off the field, it'll be one way, and when we're on the field, it's going to be the way that I've learned to win. So.
Do you feel fortunate to be in Wisconsin, given their history of high school offensive linemen that they've produced?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's from an educational standpoint. That's really kind of the number one thing I'm learning real fast is, you know, the tradition not only at the University of Wisconsin, but Wisconsin kids. You know, kids that, I mean, walk-on, scholarship, all the above. You know, the quality of play from an offensive line standpoint in this state is obviously speaks for itself. And that's exciting.
What is the first thing that came to mind for you in the past when you heard of Wisconsin offensive lineman?
Physicality, size, you know, big boys. You know, I think that's the first thing that comes to mind.
It seemed like this position is elevated at this place, the offensive line coach, compared to maybe some other jobs, because of the importance they put on it.
You know, I think maybe from your guys' standpoint, but not from mine. I don't think it's any more important to me here than it was anywhere else I've been in my career. It's, you know, it's like I said earlier, I think it's very, very important, and it's, you know, it's fun to be at a school that recognizes that their fan base recognizes that.